Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be reviewing the new GNU Rider's Choice C3. That's right, they added C3 to the Rider's Choice. This board features Mervin's C3 Camber Profile, which is essentially flat through the middle, then it comes down and flattens back out at the tip of the tail. It's their new age camber, or Camber 2.0. There is a slight dip right in the dead center of the camber zone, just as a hinge point. Most of the time you can't even see it. It's going to have load and snap just like traditional camber, but it's going to be a little bit easier to engage. This board is available in two sizes, 154.5 and 157.5. I rode this board at A Basin on a day that had typical pre-season conditions, so you had chunder, slush, ice, mounds, corduroy, with bluebird skies and slightly warmer temps, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board has a true middle of the road flex, so you have your softer tips progressively stiffening up to the middle where it hits the torsional flex, and there is a noticeable amount of it, but it's not overabundant or underperforming. It allows you to twist the board as you need to. Overall, the ride of this board is very damp and stable. It's one of those boards that you can charge with and you don't have to worry about getting bucked around. You don't feel chatter, but it's not dead. It's like the right amount of damp to lively that you want in a board, so it doesn't feel like a dead turd. With this board having C3, it does have pop and snap to it. It's not the most overwhelming, and you kind of have to figure out how it loads, as it doesn't really load up like traditional camber, but it doesn't load up like something as C2 or C2X. So what you want to do when you engage the camber section is to get it to pop right where it comes down and hits that flat section, and then you're going to get some snap. It takes a little bit of effort to load it up, but not a crazy amount. With it said, this board is great for ollieing off side hits, popping rollers, and jumping over slow signs. I ollied the fuck out of some slow signs with this board. Now, unfortunately, as it was preseason, there really wasn't any jumps I could hit. There was a weird hip spine thing, so I was hitting it like a hip and just figuring out how it popped. It loads up, it snaps, it does its job. Knowing that this is the Rider's Choice and knowing how this is built, small, medium, large jumps, wouldn't sweat it with this thing. You're gonna be able to pop with it, no questions asked. It's a board for hitting jumps, trust me. The sweet spot in the nose and the tail isn't crazy immense, but once you find it, you can lock into a butter and you'll be able to swivel and sizzle. The board will fight you. There will be some rebounds, so be prepared for that. And with it having magnet traction, sometimes it can get a little hooky. So once again, just be prepared for that. When it comes to jibbing, is this a jib board? No, you want to use a little more speed and press a little bit harder. It'll get the job done. With it having C3 just through the majority of it, you're going to be able to lock it into a rail and really feel it hug the feature. But once again, this isn't a jib board, so if you're going to do that, a little more speed, a little more power, you'll be good to go. When it comes to carving, this board shines. This is where it stands out. You have an asymmetrical side cut, which means you have a dedicated heel side and a dedicated toe side. That heel side's a little bit deeper of a side cut, so it allows to compensate for the natural anatomy of us as riders. You can get this thing on edge and rail a turn. Only once doing a hard aggressive carve did I have the tail actually buck out on me, and even then I blame the conditions way more than I do the board. This thing locks into a carve, you feel secure, you can just drive it through those turns. And it doesn't matter if you're doing short, tight, quick turns or long, hard, drawn out Euro carves. It's got you covered all the way across the board. This is a deck for really just hammering when you're on edge. You can feel it and it's stable. It pushes through everything in front of it. So who is this board for? It's for the high-end, all-mountain freestyle rider. Someone that's really pushing their limits, someone that's gonna charge, someone that's aggressive and very assertive with their board. So I'm just gonna say it now. This is the version of the Rider's Choice that I have wanted for years. Knowing that it was C3, I knew that it would actually perform better than the one that is C2. This board just rails a turn. It's powerful where you want it. It's playful when you need it to be. You can just feel locked in on edge. It's just a great overall ride for someone that wants a higher end all mountain freestyle board or a high end park twin. This deck doesn't suck. The addition of C3 to this, coupled with the flex pattern of it, it finally gives it the performance you want. You can torsionally twist it, but you don't feel like you have these two independent zones that really change it. It just feels more grounded and locked in. It's got a lot better snap off the tail too. You'll notice that when you pop off anything. Overall, can't praise them for adding C3 to this enough. Comparable boards: the Jones Ultra Mountain Twin, the Ride Helix, the Rosinal Juggernaut. This has been my review of the GNU RC C3. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we've got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really want to support us and just see us grow out what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.